So in Chapter 2.2 in class, we discussed the following objectives. We had, from the standard form of an equation, determine the center and the radius. And so that was our first objective. Our second objective is, given a center and a radius, write down the equation in standard form. And finally, objective 3 is, from the general equation, find the center and the radius. So you will notice that the standard form of our equation is the following. It is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. And then the center is at hk with the radius r. We will note at the origin, at 0, 0, we have just x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. The equation of the circle came from the idea of Pythagorean theorem. The general form for the equation is x squared plus y squared plus ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. When you see an equation of this form, it'll either be a circle or an ellipse or possibly a hyperbola. We won't get to the last two types of conic sections. So our first objective is, from the equation of a circle, determine the center and the radius. So in problem 16 on page 212, determine the center and radius of the following equation, then graph the circle. I want you to pause the video right at the moment and see if you can find the center and radius, and then graph the circle. So we're going to find the center of the circle first. In this particular case, the center is at -3, 1, and the radius is equal to the square root of 16, which is 4. So now we're going to graph. The center is at -3, 1, which is right here. And normally I draw a line through, but the machine isn't very good at this. So what I'm going to do is draw the points and then try to draw my circle. So I count along a horizontal from the center 4 places to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I put a point there. And I will go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll put a point there. And now to the left, I'll go to 4 units out, so it's about right there. And then we'll go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I have the points, and now I'm going to draw my circle the best I can. And it's okay. So there's my circle for this particular equation. Objective 2, given a center and a radius, write an equation of a circle. Problem number 24, page 212. Write the equation of a circle and graph the given center at -3, 2, and the radius is 4. Again, I'd like you to pause the video and try the problem first, writing the equation and then graphing. So the first thing we're going to do is graph the equation. I'm going to put the center in at -3, 2. So we will put that in right there where it is, right there. So now I'm going to put the points that are on the circle, and again the radius is 4, so I'll move to the right 4 places, and I'll put a point here, and now I'll put a point 4 places up, which is about right here, and now we'll put 4 places about right here to the left, and now 4 places down, which is about right here. And now we'll draw our circle. Well, we're close. Now we're going to at least write the equation correctly. So now I will go ahead and put it in standard form. So it's going to be x plus 3 squared plus y minus 2 squared is equal to 16. So that concludes this particular problem. So our next objective is, from the general form of a circle, write the equation in standard form. Problem 44, page 213, write the equation in standard form and find the center and radius of the circle. So here's our equation. It's x squared plus y squared plus 12x minus 14y plus 84 equals 0. I would like you to try to put this equation in standard form. And so then pause the video, and we will get back to you in just a few minutes. Okay, so we will go ahead and show you how we would accomplish this task. We're going to group the variables x together and the y's together and move the numerical value to the right of the equation. To do that, we will do the following. So it's x squared plus 12x and then plus y squared minus 14y is equal to a minus 84. So now we have to complete the square on the x variables and the y variables. And when we do that, we get the following: x squared plus 12x, and we take half of 12 and we square it, so that's 6 squared is 36. And we're going to do the same thing with the y's, so we now get y squared minus 14y, take half of 14, negative 14, and we square it, and we get a 49. But now we have to add what we added on the left-hand side of the equation. So we added a 36, and we added a 49. So now we have a perfect square. Our perfect square is x plus 6, and then the y is y minus 7 squared is equal to, it looks like when we add everything together we get 1. So the center is at minus 6, comma 7, and the radius is equal to 1. So we'd like you to try more of these problems. In fact, we've got another problem in the next slide. So now we have problem number 54 on page 213. Find the center and radius of the following equation. So again, we want to put it in standard form to find the center and the radius. I'd like you to pause the video right at the moment and try your luck in finding the standard form of the equation and then find the center and the radius. Okay, so now we will begin how to accomplish this. I will put the x variables again together. So I put x squared minus x, and I'll put the y's together. So it's y squared minus 3/2 y, and I'm going to put the numerical value to the right of the equation, so that's now going to be 3/4. Now I have to complete the square, so I'm going to take half of 1, negative 1 that is, and square it, and I get a half squared is 1/4. And I probably should do that now. See, I have 3/4 plus 1/4. Probably should do this on a regular basis. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the y variable. I have y squared minus 3/2 y. I take 3/2 and I half it, which now becomes 3/4, and I square it, which is now 9/16. So I have to add 9/16 over here. So now I have a perfect square. I have x minus 1/2 squared plus y minus 3/4 squared is equal to 1 plus 9/16. And again, I will do the same equation again. Oops, I made a mistake, didn't I? Yep. So now it's a minus, right? And now I have 16/16 plus 9/16. Right, and so now we have, right, x minus 1/2 squared plus y minus 3/4 squared is equal to 25/16. So now the center is at 1/2, comma 3/4, and the radius is at 5/4. So that concludes our chapter 2.2 for circles. Please practice the problems in the book and also the lecture problems. So our next chapter to discuss is chapter 2.3, functions.